Hi, folks. Peter Dyson here. I'm a personal injury lawyer in Delray Beach, Florida. Today, I want to talk about a somber topic, the death of one of the parties. See, unfortunately, cases can take months or years to finish. During that time, sometimes a plaintiff passes on due to reasons unrelated to the accident, or the defendant dies. I want to talk to you on how that's going to affect your case. How does the death of the defendant affect the case? Well, before a lawsuit is filed, it doesn't affect it at all. If the defendant had insurance, the insurance company is still obligated to protect the defendant, even though they've passed on. Now, once litigation is necessary or has occurred, the defendant needs to have an estate opened in the probate court. Now, as strange as it sounds, if the defendant didn't have assets or family and they don't probate an estate, a plaintiff can force an estate to be opened. The way it works is the plaintiff chooses a personal representative and opens an estate under that name for the sole purpose of suing the defendant's estate. Now, if your claim exceeds the amount of insurance coverage that's available, the plaintiff's attorney must also make a claim on the estate for that money above the insurance. So the defendant's death doesn't affect things as much as the plaintiff's death, which I'm going to talk about next. Another common question I'm asked is, what if the plaintiff dies during the time of the claim or during litigation due to unrelated reasons? In other words, has nothing to do with the claim or the lawsuit. Well, that does change the case a lot. The first way it changes a case is we have to adjust how we look at damages. See, a jury has categories of things that we'll look at. One is medical bills, both in the past and in the future. You're also going to look at pain and suffering in the past, in the future. Unfortunately, when the plaintiff dies, there's no more future medical costs. There's no more future pain and suffering. And those are big components of damages awarded by juries. It could also affect how negligence is decided. If there are no independent witnesses and the plaintiff passes on, they don't have an opportunity to tell their side of the story on how the accident happened and why the defendant should be at fault. Another question I'm asked is, well, will the case still go on? The answer is yes. See, if the plaintiff passes on during litigation, we'll create an estate, and the money from settlement or a successful trial will go to the estate, and it'll go to the heirs. Now, if you have a will, it'll go to the heirs as outlined in your will. If you have a trust, it's going to go as outlined in your trust. If not, it'll go by the state law on how money should be divided up if there is no will or there's no trust. Unfortunately, we've had to address this situation where either our client passed on or the defendant passed on. We understand the mechanisms and the strategies we have to use to maximize our client's claim or their descendants' claim because their loved one passed. If you have any questions of how a death is going to affect a case, call us at the number below.